before we get started, I just had a light. Show off the Elden Ring jacket. Know what I'm saying? I love this shit, bro. Today we're talking about Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN. Now, as someone that applied for the network test and got in, I was able to play quite a bit over the past weekend. I played about 5 to 6 hours of the network test. Granted, the first day, I'm sure if you were on PlayStation, you know that we just weren't able to access it, which, to be fair, is kind of what we signed up for when we signed up for our network test. If the network wasn't working, clearly we were testing it, right? But I digress. This video is about my thoughts regarding the network test, what I think worked, what I think could use some fixing and some tweaking, and just generally my thoughts on the beta. When I saw the announcement trailer for NIGHTREIGN initially, I was a little skeptical as to how it would work, because, you know, I'm sure everyone's, when they saw the trailer, they got a real Fortnite sense of the game, and we weren't sure if it was going to be a battle royale or what. And then as more details came out, it seemed that it was going to be more of a PvE experience, obviously playing with, you know, you're cooperating with other people, but it's still mostly a PvE experience. And that it would be more like a roguelike than anything. You know, you drop the only the similarities to Fortnite start and end with dropping in with like a bird or whatever. You don't even need to pick where you drop, so there's that. And then, you know, the circle of rain that encloses you, just like the storm in Fortnite. That's it. That's where the similarities end. It's more like a roguelike in the sense that you have to scour the map for resources, fight enemies to gain experience, level up, and try to find new weapons and skills before, you know, the nightly bosses come in. And I think that format is a lot of fun because there's a sense of real urgency in all of your movements. If you're not with a team that knows what they're doing and knows where to go and aren't constantly moving around the map trying to pick things up, then there's a chance that you're not with the right team. Like, I got stuck with a couple of teammates who were just kind of like walking around, weren't following my map markers, were kind of just clueless as to where to go and what to do, and those were the teams that usually, you know, we lost. Initially, I was under the impression that it would be kind of like playing Elden Ring for the first time, but with friends. That's not really what it is. There's no, I mean, as of right now, it was just a beta, so who knows what they might add in the final version of the game. But as of right now, there's no real lore, and there's no real story, as far as I can tell. It's kind of just go, 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 and I'm fine with that. I'm a little sad that we don't get those aspects of the games into here as well, but honestly, how much can they realistically fit in with this kind of format, right? So that's all right. But in terms of the gameplay, man, it is, if you have the right team and you have like a sense of understanding with each other, it's so much fun. I personally wasn't able to play with any friends of mine because for one of the days I played it too early and no one else was able to play it, and then on the other there was no password matchmaking. And then on the last day, I just wasn't able to play it. And at that point, I felt that I had gotten what I needed out of the beta at that point. But I wasn't able to play it with anyone. And but my personal opinion is that if you were to play this game with friends who enjoy FromSoft games and want to play this game, then this could be one of the most fun multiplayer experiences maybe ever. Because it's the rush and the enjoyment of, you know, beating a FromSoft boss, but doing it with your friends. And, you know, I can only imagine what the callouts would be like in this game as well. I feel like it'd be pretty humorous. If I don't get to play this with my friends when it comes out, I'm really looking forward to watching streamers like Zanny play this with their friends, because that would be really funny. I feel like the content coming out of this game is going to be peak no matter what. In terms of the characters that you get to play as, there's, I believe, the Guardian, the Recluse, the Duchess, and Wilder. The Duchess is the most fun to play. She's fast and she has the most overpowered abilities in the game, in my opinion. I didn't play a lot of the Recluse, but she also has really cool like spell manipulation skills where you can mix different elements together to create different kinds of ultimate attacks. That's really cool. I want to try that out in the final game a bit more, hopefully. I mained Wilder because I'm a simple guy, and he has a big bang attack, and I like just walking up behind a boss and then just poo like that in their back. Some freaky like that. But Wilder was my most fun to play. The Guardian had his ult is really useful, but I personally am not a tank player. I prefer playing either support or Duchess, and I guess that he is a tank support, but I like doing damage, you know. And the Duchess and Wilder are really good for just damage output, so they'll probably be my mains. Of course, there's 4 other characters that we don't know about yet, and I'm sure we'll get more details on them as time goes on. But I played every character except the Recluse. I'm not really a mage player. That's just me. But they were all a lot of fun to play as. And if you have a good team to play with, then this game is really fast paced and really interesting. Currently my only issue is Currently, my only issues with the game are some UI hangups that I have. I feel like I don't know if this is just me and I'm stupid, but I wasn't able to tell how many flash charges I had at any given point. I think it was like 8 or something. But knowing how many you have with like a counter on the screen would be like helpful, just so you know. In fact, when I started, I didn't even know that you had flash charges to heal with, which is kind of stupid to think about. Yeah, sure, but I didn't even know you had them. I thought the only way you could stay in the fight was to just respawn or get revived by a friend of yours. I actually didn't know that you could, just heal. So my first match, I just spent trying my best to dodge everything instead of knowing that I could heal afterwards. It was a really stupid way to play. But once I figured out that, you can actually heal, then obviously the game felt a lot more manageable. I also think, this might be a controversial opinion because I haven't heard anyone else complain about it, I think the boss health bars are a little too overtuned. I think they have a bit too much health. And maybe that's because... And I say this as someone that was able to actually finish the game in its current state. Like, I got to Gladius, Beast of Night. Great boss fight, by the way. Amazing arena as well. Honestly, if any of the other bosses are built like that and have arenas like that, this game is going to be a really good time. But that's besides the point. I think, some of the boss balancing and the health bar tweaking, it needs some tweaking, the health bar as well. Because why is it fair that halfway through the first day, we get Margit spawning in the middle of the field, and we have to fight him, and we have no good weapons yet, no good abilities, no good skills, and the only thing that's carrying is the Duchess's time rewind ability. I forget what it's called. But the Duchess's time rewind ability can't be the only thing that carries these matches, right? There has to be something else, and maybe we'll find that in other characters. Maybe we just got unlucky with the RNG. And there was one boss fight, I think it was at the end of night 2, where it was a Draconic Tree Sentinel and 2 Cavalrymen, and they all had a lot of health. And I just don't think that's balanced. I mean, it's 3 members, it's three enemies for 3 party members. Surely you can each take on one and then switch around if you need to. I mean, sure, yeah, but the Draconic Tree Sentinel was enough of a pain in the ass on its own that you didn't also need 2 cavalrymen flanking you from the sides when all 3 of you should have been focusing on the Tree Sentinel, right? So it's just stuff like that. I think some of their the enemy's team comp could be switched around, and I just think that the health bar needs to be a little bit smaller. And I see this as a Souls veteran. I played all the games except Dark Souls 2. And I think those are all very fair in terms of how much damage you can do to a health bar. And here just felt like, damn, how is this supposed to be viable solo? Right? Because this is supposed to be played either in trios or in solos. And I think if we're doing barely that much damage with all 3 of us, how the fuck is someone supposed to play on their own? And I know I've been on Reddit, I've seen people do it. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it seems like a slog to do it on your own when the health bars are so big. Maybe there's some adjustments they make when you solo queue, who knows? But all I'm saying is that those adjustments should be there. I also feel like there should be a duo queue. And this is just because sometimes you don't have a third man. Sometimes you just have one other friend to play with, right? And just and then queuing up with a friend and then just one random feels kind of weird. You could do this thing where 3 of you queue up and then one of you just leaves or something like that if you want to run a duo match. I don't know. You could do that as a pseudo way of running duos, but I feel like this game would benefit from more than one game mode and more than one map, because I was limited to 1 map, and again, I know it's the beta, I'm sure there'll be more, but how many more is my question. I think this game could do with 4 to 5 maps at launch, and then adding more incrementally. I'm also treating this game like a From Software game, they're old games where it's a full package as soon as it launches, and then they might give you a bigger DLC down the line. But this very much, I have a feeling not a feeling, it very much won't be like that. This will be a live service game where they pump out updates. I'm assuming it'll be like a live service game where they pump out free updates. I don't think they're gonna do a battle. They already said they're not doing a battle pass or loot boxes or anything like that. But you know, I'm recalling an article where I think the game director said it will be a full package on launch. So maybe they won't add anything new to it. I couldn't really tell you for sure. But anyways, those are more or less my thoughts on the game. I think it's a lot of fun to play. It's fast paced. It evokes that feeling of playing a Souls game. But you know, you've got comrade, you've got brothers and sisters in arms to fight alongside. And I think conquering that last boss of the beta with my team, like barely clutching through, I think the high that I rode that high for like the rest of the night, you know? So I think what they have here, this roguelike PvE co-op Souls-like, I think it really works. It just needs some tweaking, some adjustments, and some add-ons, and I think we'll have a hit. Now, will I be playing this day one? I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait for reviews of the full game, but if the full game is anything like how this beta turned out to be in its best moments, I think we're gonna have a really fun way to distract ourselves until the next big FromSoft game. Those are my thoughts on NIGHTREIGN. I'm a little late to the party, I know. Most of the bait Souls YouTubers gave their thoughts before the beta even came out, and a lot of people have been posting in the past few days. Obviously, I do this thing for fun, and I'm not working on any kind of set schedule. Maybe I should be, but until I decide to, this is just how videos are gonna be coming out. Thank you guys for watching. If you're looking forward to NIGHTREIGN, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know who you're looking forward to fighting from the old roster of DS games. I just know for a fact that if I queue up with some homies and the Nameless King drops in, like he did in the trailer, that's gonna be a time for sure. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.